yes, go ahead, Mr. Finch.
It really boils down to two things. An individual that's willing to speak up. And I fully agree with Mr. Barrett. It really starts with someone saying, what about Newburgh? What about Newburgh? Having a voice, when looking at the individual who has been in that position for the last 16 years, and you go through the minutes of the legislative meeting, he's not speaking up and saying, what about, you can't even find a paragraph of him saying, what about Newburgh? Not a paragraph. So it really starts with someone having a voice and just speaking up and saying, what about Newburgh? That's unacceptable. Taking a look at social services where people have trouble navigating the social service process. They don't know where to go. Conducting efficiency studies of social services, ETA, what is our job training processes? The delaying in the paperwork process. You speak to this person and then wait 3 weeks. Speak to this person and wait 4 weeks. You don't qualify. Well, you'll qualify, but we'll give you $366 a month to find a home. Good luck. But don't do drugs, but we want to have you live near the drug dealers. Okay? Interruptions of the benefits without prior notification. Unacceptable. We're just going to snatch your benefits, deal with it, okay? Caseworkers not returning calls, inability to give answers to simple questions. And it really boils down to individuals on the county level saying, enough is enough. We have to respect the pride, the integrity of these individuals who are just asking that. They're not asking for, don't give me a handout, give me a handout, help me. Help me, show me how to get out of this situation. They don't want to go from house to house. Everyone wants what we call a home. And it really starts with having that voice.
Ms. Wright, did you have anything to add?
Yeah, well, just real quick, just kind of getting on the bandwagon of our incumbent not really being there and stepping up and saying what it is that needs to be said. There was actually a meeting held, and I actually have those minutes. There was a meeting back in May where Mr. Jolly, which many may know is the commissioner for DSS, and he was talking about the stimulus money that was coming down the pike and what kind of programs could actually be enacted and what they were going to look to do. And I just find that it was funny that they were having all these discussions about, homeless and what they were going to require, that people attended these mandated 3 classes. So we're adding more levels to an already existing problem. It's already taking folks, 45 days, maybe or maybe not, to get an answer. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add more layers to the issue. I think that it's just getting worse. At one of the other debates, I actually talked about the fact that we've got to start at the top and really start to hold those folks accountable for what they're allowing, because adding more layers, people standing online for hours to get in the door to be told that, oh, we can't see you, we met our limit of 5 people for today. Absolutely unacceptable. These are the things we've got to look at, who's actually running those shows, and really start to make some changes.
Who else has one question? Yes, ma'am.
Unfortunately, I have several questions, but my name is Tameeka Williams, and I'm a resident of the city of Newburgh. I was born and raised here. I've been here for over 30 years. I have great concern because every debate I've been at, I've heard the same, the same answers, and I have great concern because it seems there's no cohesiveness with the city council, the mayor, the county legislators coming together on one, level. I know there are all 3 different levels, but coming together on what can be done, and also who's going to oversee, what's going on. And then there's missing funds in the past, where's the money going, and how can it come back to the city of Newburgh?
So what is your question?
Okay, so several questions. One question is, I want to know how the candidates feel about transitional homes in the city of Newburgh. What is their take on that? Are they for it or against it? And how hard would it be, and where would they stand on creating some other homes, housing as like homeless shelters? I know there's only one, like Kevin stated, of 69 of the rooms. There's also only one transitional home for people coming out of prison. So what can we do, and what's your take on that?
Let's start with, this is the time, let's go back this way. Go ahead, Mr. Barrett, and we'll go down this way.
Transitional housing. The county already has a program that provides for people to stay in hotel rooms. It's $600 and some a week. Add it up, $2,400 a month. It gets very ugly. For $2,400 a month, that's someone's mortgage in a $400,000, $300,000 house. It doesn't make any sense. And I talked to the county commissioner, and I had a long lunch conversation with him, 3 hours, and just picked his brain about these things. And he basically says that the county can't do anything about such things because it's under a state mandate. The state of New York and the state of California have these mandates that say that you have to spend this on these people. It doesn't make any logical sense, and if you could pull away from it, it would be the best. I would be very engaged in making sure that that transitional housing program does not include spending that much money, and try to move the county to be able to build or to take over some kind of project or property here, and to make it a functional transitional housing unit for the people that are in between that time. For whatever reason, I've met people down at the safe harbors who've had injuries, and they were viable working people before. It can befall anybody. When I went on a tour with the Community Voices Heard, I found people that were from Port Jervis, from Middletown, from other areas that had come over here because of their conditions. They had worked all their lives and their conditions had changed. In terms of housing, public housing, being in the real estate industry and being in some of these houses and these apartments that I've seen in the past 10, 15 years, it's horrifying, it's shocking. I mean, some of us here live here, we have an economic, an education, a social economic condition that is better than the people that are out there. These people that are there need help. They need an education. My friend is the director of the Cornell Cooperative Extension, and I've always pushed and wanted the Cornell Cooperative Extension, who brings programs into their communities, mostly out there in the hinterland, but none in the city of Newburgh, to be able to train and teach people not only just how to pay the rent thing, but how to live, how to cook, how to do things, how to buy fresh groceries and to cook them. These are things that are so small to many of us, but are key to developing the families and the people that we need in their households.
Ms. Rogers, do you have anything to add?
No, I just wanted to add that in terms of transitional housing and shelters as well, you definitely have to have services. You need assessments and you need services. We all don't get in that situation the same way. Like Kevin talked about, just did you break your leg or were you in a car accident or something like that, that now you can't be a construction worker. So we all get in that place in a different way. Is it drug related? So do we need to be a part of some, services? Do you have some other sort of history that is now hindering you from moving forward in life? So clearly, we have to have, some transitional houses, because the bottom line is we have the numbers. The people are here. That's not going to change. That's not going away, no matter what we think about it or whether or not we want it in our backyard. It's already here. So now we have to do something. But before we can make any real drastic decisions, we've got to have some assessments and make sure that some services will be available for them.
Thank you very much, and Mr. Finch.
Understanding that there's a process. It's not just about transitional housing. It's about the process of, as she indicating and figuring out how did they get in that situation and then how to get them out of that. So it's not just transitional housing, it's transitional jobs. It's working with social services, it's working with employment and training, it's working with the various organizations. Really, it's being part of the Human Service Committee on a county level, which can help individuals navigate through those various challenges. So as county legislator, one of the committees I am looking to serve on will be the Human Service Committee, which directly affects decisions such as transitional housing, jobs, and so forth.